doesn't get any better. And by the way, maybe one of the most anticipated shows in Philadelphia today will be Big Sills right here, because the trading deadline will end as we are on the air. How you doing? And do me a favor, please hit that like button. Super chats go to the top. We got a special guest today. I've been watching Coach Jason Brown go back and forth with Mina Kimes, and I've been told that this guy is a Big Sills version, kind of in a way. So we're going to have him on today at 4:30. We're going to test him out. See if he belongs in the rotation with some of the legendary people that have come on this program. You know, he's actually sent me a DM a couple times to come on the program. So I didn't really. Xander's like, bro, this guy has got a massive following. So we're going to get Coach Jason Brown on. That's going to be at 4:30. How you doing here today, baby? Yes, sir. So let me get this right. Last night on Monday Night Football, I'm sitting around and I hear Jason and all those guys, and I'm talking Jason Brown, and everybody was tweeting out, Jerry Jones is going to have a gigantic announcement today. Gigantic announcement. I'm thinking it's the defensive tackle from the Jets. I'm thinking it's maybe Sauce Gardner to the Cowboys. It's Logan Wilson. Before the 4 o'clock deadline today, Logan Wilson is a backup linebacker on the Cincinnati Bengals and on the shitty Bengals. Holy cow. There lies the difference between Jimmy Johnson, Howie Roseman, and the Cowboys. Plain and simple. I thought Walter Nolan was a fucking force last night. Holy shit, is he good. No wonder we loved him. He was a force, unblockable. He was eating guys up like he was Pac-Man in the middle. This guy was fucking destroying the middle of the defense or the offense, and he was just killing them. He was a wrecking machine. By the way, Josh Sweat was all over the fucking field last night. Josh Sweat is playing great football, sacks everywhere. He was just insane great last night. Arizona's got a good football team. They just have a shitty record. I mean it, man. Cowboys just trade. Here it is. Okay. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Jerry. We had tweeted this out. It is true. It just happened as I ripped Jerry Jones. The Cowboys make the trade for Quinnen Williams, the spectacular defensive tackle for the New York Jets. Boy, the Jets are just, they got a yard sale going on. Holy cow. What a ball player. Man, that's a ball player. Holy cow. Williams is great. That guy is a spectacular football player. Wow. Does that improve the Dallas Cowboys? Man, what a move by the Dallas Cowboys. That's a great football move, man. The Dallas Cowboys just trade. Holy cow. Let me see if let me get it with Schefter here. Holy cow. Man, is he good? He is good. Holy cow. This is a big, I wonder what they gave up for him. Man. Blockbuster deal. New York is trading 3-time Pro Bowler Quinnen Williams to the Cowboys. First Sauce Gardner's gone, and then Williams. Well, I'll tell you, that Sauce Gardner deal, Jets gave up 2 1s for him. Or Jets got 2 1s from the Colts for him. I mean, wow, they're just completely starting all over again. And you know what? This is one of the very few times. See, get this? It's never too late. Bro, you have no idea what the second half of the season is going to tell. I watched the Philadelphia Eagles fall off the face of the planet in the second half of the season. I'm not saying you are. Don't fucking go down that lane. You don't know what the second half of the season's going to be. You're not a fortune teller, and nor am I. That's why it's a week-to-week league. You got a guy going like this. It's too late, and I watched you fucking lose 6 or 7. Bro, I wouldn't go down that lane if I were you. And again, I am not predicting that the Eagles go down that 2023 lane. I'm not. I'm just saying, I remember the Steelers got out to an 11-1 start one year, and they proceeded to lose 8 of like 9 ball games down the stretch. Okay? Yeah, right. It's never over, dude. You were telling me it was over at 10-1 and 23. Whatever. It's never over. Now, it's over to possibly win the East, but it's not over to win a spot in the playoffs. It's not. Okay? I mean, it's not over for them to make a playoff spot. Oh, boy, I'm glad they made those trades because Mark is about to absolutely here. So, again, I'll say this to you, too. I was going to start the show off by saying Dak needs to be traded and get the hell out of Dallas if he wants to win a Super Bowl because he'll never win there. I don't know. Jerry Jones is pushing his chips in a little bit here, and we'll see what happens. Hey, did Garrett Wilson go to the Bucs? That's a great idea. I don't believe Jason Light's going to do that, though. He doesn't really spend any kind of draft assets when it comes into midseason. Okay? I really don't. Okay? They don't have a problem at wide receiver. They don't have a problem with CD. They don't have a problem with Pickens. They got a problem on defense, dude. Just like your defense. Your offense this year kicked the shit out of your defense, and that's why your numbers suck. And potentially that will get better in the second half. Absolutely. I mean, your defensive numbers are not very good. And it's because your offense wasn't very good in the first half. I love how Eagle fans, again, Minnesota and the Giant game has turned your fortunes around somehow. It hasn't. I haven't thought anything different from your last 8 quarters of football. Things have started to look a little different, maybe. We'll see how you head into these next couple games. It's a week-to-week league, as we said. Actually, the Cowboy offensive line has actually played better than your offensive line. And they're actually been rated better than your O-line. Our issue's on third down. It is. And both sides of the football. They improve that, their football team will improve. Cowboys corner looked burnt toast last night. Well, that's why they couldn't get to the passer, and they can't stop the run, which is going to hurt your secondary like it hurts your secondary. They got Williams. He is a great player. Okay? They're completely not out of it. Not in a million ways they're out of it. And I'm talking about not winning the East. I'm talking about getting into the playoffs. Why in the world would the Cowboys give up their first rounder? Because they're never going to find a guy in the draft in the next 3 years as good as Williams. They had the Packers first there. Also, holy hell, wouldn't overpay a first round and more. No, Williams is a great football player. He's a proven player. Okay? He's a proven player. There's nobody in that draft coming out that will be better than that player. That's what they looked at it as. Okay? This guy praying the Cowboys catch the Eagles. Did anybody hear me fucking say that was going to happen? What are you, my fucking mind reader guy? You don't know me from a can of paint on what I'm thinking. From a can of paint. Stop pretending. Who's getting Jermaine Johnson? Jets fire sale. I wouldn't be shocked if the Detroit Lions ended up making a move for that. Okay? Let's see here. Let's see. Let's go to people with brains. A can of paint, baby. Right? I mean, I don't give a shit about these guys compared to a can of paint. I don't care. Okay? Try watching the sport. You'll understand who by the way, try watching the sport. You'll know who he is. Jerry made a decent move. That's not a decent move. That's a spectacular move. Sills, every team has a clunker game. You didn't have one last year. After your bye week, there was not one clunker game. Okay, Cowboys gave up a 2026 second-round pick and a 27 first-round pick. That's not egregious for that guy. That guy, if he's put in a good environment, he is in a position where he's first-team All-Pro. That guy, I mean, listen, is Jalen Carter better than him? I don't know. He hasn't played it this year. I don't know. Jalen Carter has not played up to his ability. Okay? Here's Xander, just to give context. The first rounder is 27. They still have 2 ones this year, I believe, for the 26 NFL draft. So, in theory, you can make that up at 27 to try to get back into the first round. The Eagles are going to bust out all those frauds when these games really matter, and you'll be eating your – okay. Hey, fortune teller, thank you very much for your projections instead of what we are right now. So you're giving me something that you think is going to happen. Congratulations. I don't talk like that. I tell you who you are right now. Sills, get Shelton Day on prior to the Washington game. He's a regular on JB's show, okay? Look at the Cowboys' recent first-round picks. Getting Quinnen is a better move for them than drafting anyone. Yeah. The Cowboys drafted Mazi Smith. Now they got Williams. But get this. Williams might make Mazi Smith the better ball player. I will tell you that a little bit later. I've got my top 10. By the way, I'm going to go with a couple other ones, a couple other people that also agree with me on my top 10 list in the NFL. And we will go back and forth. How you doing? I'm doing. Okay? Let's see here. Him and Kenny Clark could be a nice tandem, and you could have the swing tackle with Mazi Smith. Yeah, Cowboys 3-5-1 are not out of it. Not by a long shot. Now, again, I'm talking playoffs. I'm not talking about winning a division. I think winning the division's out, but I think getting to the playoffs, they still have a shot here. It wouldn't shock me if he declines Dallas. What do you mean he declines Dallas? He's been traded there. Declines Dallas? He doesn't have a no trade in his contract. He declines Dallas. Well, then he doesn't play ever. Jerry made a great trade, but they're still years behind Philly. Absolutely true. See, Jeff, that's kind of what I was talking about yesterday that I'm trying to get through to Philly fans. Yesterday, when I was talking to Xander, people were going like this, Sills, we can't sign everyone. I never said you could. I told the story. How he shit the bed in the offseason with all the shitty moves. He recognized it. Okay? All the replacements he brought in for these other guys were terrible. And you see his movement now. He pivoted. He brought other players in. That's the story. You guys want to add glaze to it. That's not the story. Okay? Cowboys include Mazi's part of that deal. Thank you, Xander. So the Jets get a bust? Wow. And the reason the Jets did that, because he's on a rookie deal. Mazi got shipped to the Jets. He's on a rookie deal still, so they can use him. Holy shit, man. You go from one bad situation to the worst situation. To the worst. Again, sorry, I accidentally went on somebody that doesn't know what he's talking about. That's a good interior. It is. They got a great looking interior now. Kenny Clark and now with Williams. That's fantastic. Now they just lack on the perimeter. Okay? Good trade by Dallas. Williams is compatible to Micah. Hopefully we can sign Carter to a deal comparable to Williams. Yes. Williams is a fabulous ball player. Carter's not a better ball player right now in his career than Williams. Carter will be a better ball player. I hate the fucking Cowboys. They'll never win anything. A trash juice can team where stats and outside of football means more, but Williams is a good trade. That's a great way to look at it. You can add that other stuff in there, but you finished up with the truth. Williams is a good deal. David, that's what I was trying to say yesterday to people. I didn't say how he was going to sign all the players, the Milton Williamses of the world and the Josh Sweats. That's not what happened. I told you a story. Only Philly people will add the glaze to it. Well, you can't sign everybody. And you know what? I love what he's done now. Okay, great. You can have all that. But the story is he sucked in the offseason. He recognized it. He pivoted. He signed players that he thinks are going to help. All these guys that you signed have not played. You said all this same shit about all those guys in the offseason about them playing. None of them panned out. But you want to jump the gun and assume that all these guys are going to fit. We'll see. Every one of you jumped the gun. You jumped it then, and you're jumping it now. You're assuming all of these guys are going to pan out and fit in. What happened to Ja'Cory Bennett? Hey, by the way, let's take a look at the Eagles for a second. Okay? Sills, with Phillips, does the run defense come down? Also, I could see now where from 10 to 12 in defense, potentially, depending on what the offense does running the ball. So let me show you something here on the Eagles here. Before we go on and move on, because we're gonna get to our topics here in a second. So here's the depth chart. Let me go here to corner. Outside of Q, let's see. Here's your corners. Adoree Jackson, Keely Ringo, Jair Alexander, Ja'Cory Bennett, and Mac Williams. Those are a bunch of trash cans. Ringo's the best of them all. You created depth. Okay. Those aren't, just because you got a bunch of corners doesn't mean you have good corners. I mean, you're looking at volume and going, hey, we got a deep corner. No, you don't. You got one guy that's spectacular in Quinnen. The rest of them are garbage. I think Ringo's gotten better the last couple weeks. Actually, Howie did not shit the bed. Maybe a little bit on DB. Okay, really? You think he replaced Josh Sweat? Do you really think he replaced Josh Sweat? You're assuming that Jalen Phillips is going to replace that guy. Dumb comment. Dumb comment. And you did not replace Mekhi Becton. You got a good player in there. You didn't get a guy who was a dominant player. I'm late. Have you already covered Deron Blaine getting put in a damn blender, getting shook out of his shoes by Marvin Harrison? Cowboys defense. You may have added Williams from the Jets, but your secondary is without a doubt ridiculous. Yes, Phillips is on the same. No, he's not. Sweat only had a good Super Bowl. Not true. Please stop saying Ringo's good. He's terrible. Well, then the rest of the guys behind him are even worse. Okay? It's Josh Sweat, right? Okay. Well, Josh Sweat just signed a $19 million deal with the Cardinals and played exceptional football for you last year. That's a fucking lie. Sweat, the last 3 years for you, has played really great football. Now all of a sudden you're trying to demean the guy, and he delivered great football for you. He played on 2 NFC championship teams and a Super Bowl, and now you're shitting on him. Typical Eagle fan. Well, now he's not here. He sucks. And he wasn't very good to begin with. Okay. Nice job. You shit on a guy who delivered the goods for you because you want to fit a narrative. Okay. That's some of you in here. We have a bunch of jackwagons in the secondary. Completely true. Okay? You are clueless about money matters. You think he would find a Sweat replacement. No, that's not what I said. I said that the drop-off wouldn't be as significant. What the fuck do you know, guy? Sit back and watch the show. How did he shit the bed with Sweat? Couldn't afford. That's not what he took a blowtorch to his defense. I'm telling you a story. He realized that all the replacements that he had didn't work. So he pivoted. And now he's made all these moves. That's the story. Nobody said he did wrong or right. That's the story. If you want to glaze it, fine. That's the story. If you thought you did so well, why are you making all these moves? Anyone? If you thought he replaced Josh Sweat, why are you getting an edge? If you thought he replaced SPLAH, why are you signing 50 cornerbacks? Help me out there. I mean, inconvenient facts. Here's the inconvenient facts. You're replacing everyone you replaced in the offseason. Those are facts. Those are facts. I love the way our defense is coming together right now. How can you tell? Based off of New York? Because you have spots to shore up. How he can't be perfect all the time. I didn't say he had to be. I told you your story. You don't like the story because you don't like the facts. You want to add glaze to it. Nobody's saying he did anything wrong. He didn't sign good enough players in the offseason. I think we all agree with that. As he got into the season, he made more moves, and then he got to the trading deadline. He made even more moves. Okay? That's part of the truth, too. Is it the point that you don't like the truth? Took a blowtorch to your defense. It's why you're 20th. You're 20th in defense. You were 1 last year. Blowtorch. And you improved your defense through the Giants. Congratulations. He didn't take a blowtorch. That's not what I'm once again, you people want glaze. I want you to hear me one more time. You thought you were going to replace all the guys in the offseason. Sills, can't sign them all. No problem. I agree. Okay? The people you signed couldn't get the job done. Fast forward, you had to make some moves prior to the season, and now you're making moves going into the trading deadline. That's your story, guys. Sills, did Howie do the right thing? Howie did not have a good offseason. He pivoted because he knew it, and he's trying to fix it now. Okay. Most GMs won't do that. I'm not going to fucking glaze and tell you a story that's not true. Sills, we fixed it now. I don't know that. These guys haven't even had one practice yet. Today's players' day off. They haven't even been on the field. Sills, Miami Remember Miami lost to SMU? Your head coach is trash, and your recruiting is too. Eagles #1. Actually, Miami's doing very well. Very proud of the university, proud of Mario. Keep the job going, Mario. Love where the program is. University of Miami will be back. Love it. Thanks for the super, dude. Of course, every national media outlet is applauding our front office. And then there's this guy. I'm not telling. Guy, applauding? How do you know? What are you applauding on Jair Alexander? The guy's dog shit. He's missed 40 games in 5 years. What are you applauding? Michael Carter II? I told you my take on Phillips. What are you applauding? Hey, Sills, you got an update on the Browns situation you mentioned? Yeah, listen, anytime you're dealing with the Browns, I want to show you guys something. Hey, Kyle or anybody with some brains in here, who's the owner of the Tennessee Titans? Anybody? I think it's who's the owner of the Titans? It's the wife of the guy who used to own the Houston Oilers. Who's the owner of the Titans? Amy Adams. Is it Amy Adams, Jimbo? Okay. Basically, it's like it's Bud Adams' kid, I think it is. Amy Strunk. Okay. Well, let me ask you something here. Right now, if the NFL draft were to be in place, you know who the top 5 teams are? Gail Benson, Woody Johnson, Amy Strunk, who's Bud Adams' daughter, Jimmy Haslam, and Stephen Ross. These are easily the 5 worst owners in pro football. New Orleans, the Jets, Tennessee, Cleveland, and Miami would be the top 5 picks. You think there's anything fucking coincidence to that? That you got easily the 5 worst owners? It starts at the top. Right? So the blowtorch analogy is fair. A lot of good football players ripped off this team from last year. I do appreciate Howie not sit. That's the true story right there, Dez. That's right, Dez. Howie not sitting on his hands. That's the story. That's the story, Dez. Not sitting on his hands. The guys he signed stunk. He recognized it. He didn't sit on his hands. He pivoted. He's trying to make it better. He's trying to put him in a better position to succeed. That's the story. Again, like I said, most Eagle and media people in Philly want to glaze it. And they want to forget the offseason. Well, and then you want to add, well, we couldn't. No shit, you couldn't. Nobody's saying you were going to sign those guys. That's not the story. Here, I'll add that to it then. You couldn't sign everybody, so the people you signed stunk. You got into the season, you realized you needed some more help, so you signed more people. Then you got to the trading deadline, and you're trying to right the ship. Okay? Sills, did he do anything wrong? No. He tried, failed, came in, and now he's trying to redo some of the things he messed up on. That's the story. Howie Roseman pivoting is the story, and the owner allowing him to do that is the story. It's not the fact that those guys stunk. You are 6-2. Okay? He's pivoted. That's the story, friends. Not this fucking glaze fest. You haven't even seen these guys on the field yet. Everybody was telling me Zadarius Smith was going to be a superstar player and a great addition. He quit. He fucking quit on you. Nobody's going to put that into context. Howie signed a guy who quit. That's not on Howie. I don't rip him for that. The player didn't have his heart into playing a full season. Howie could never have guessed that. He signed him, though. He signed a player that quit. That's not how you've never heard me blame him for that. That player wasn't committed to playing for you. And I got to give the owner fucking credit again. The owner allows this guy to pivot. Do you know how many general managers are not given that autonomy to pivot? Hey, Howie, those signings were not very good. I'm going to make it right. Go ahead. Good. All right. We hope these guys now have made it better. To sit back and sit here and say that you've made it right when they've not even put their fucking helmet on it's ridiculous. I mean, you're assuming so much when you just went through signings that failed. And you still refuse to duck when you get punched in the face. It's like you don't want to fucking wait before you see these guys on an actual football field. How dumb is that shit? I mean, it's quite funny. Any more deals to be made this late for us? Dude, if you think that guy's not going to go until the last second, here's the thing too. You could be working on a contract. If it gets past 4:00 and you started a contract negotiation with a team, that thing could go in to the night. Because from what I understand, deals don't have to be done by 4. You can't start a new deal after 4. So, like, if you get to the 3:50 Eastern time, okay, and you start negotiating a guy, you don't have 10 minutes. I mean, you have the length of the conversation until someone says no. All deals have to be like, if you're talking, you have to talk to the league office and say, we're in the process of closing potentially a deal. And the league gives you an extension on that. That's right, M. Reyes. He's right on. As long as you're in the line at the post office, they're going to take your mail, even if it's past 4:00. That's exactly correct. That's how that works. That's why you see deals coming in later. And remember, they all have to be ratified by the NFLPA. Owner isn't looking at Howie saying, you messed up. I never said he said that. I know if I did say that, Howie is given the latitude to right wrongs and to make deals. That's an open checkbook. Okay? I mean, right? The last time they had this kind of draft capital, they drafted all the guys they're now trading away. Terrible organization, a lot of good deals though. Prince, I would say this to you. I don't think that Howie's done moving guys. I think there's certain people on the football team that could potentially be traded. And like you said, you got tremendous draft capital next year, and I'm sure you're going to improve that draft capital over the next couple of years. Hey, do I think the Eagles have pushed their chips in? The Jalen Phillips deal? Is that pushing all their chips in? A third rounder? That's 32nd? I don't know about pushing all their chips in. They got a guy that I think is going to help big time. Then again, too, remember, there's not a lot of holes on a great team. So, I mean, the Dallas Cowboys have holes everywhere. You could see it all over the team last night. Eagles don't have those holes. You know what the Eagle problem is? They need better performance, especially out of their offensive guys. We're going to get to that. But they need better performance. Miles for 3-1s was an attempt to push their chips in. Yes, that's fair. Well, and it also gives you an indication what they're willing to do. So yes. Okay, yes. They did. It's a fact. They did offer the 3-1s. But remember, Yale, when you're dealing with Jimmy Haslam, or you're dealing with Woody Johnson, you're dealing with imbeciles. Same thing with Miami. And by the way, we confirmed it. Chris Greer did not want to trade Jalen Phillips. For them to trade Jalen Phillips, he had to be fired. That was confirmed today by Armando Salguero. Initially, they weren't going to trade him. Chris Greer said no when Howie initially called. As soon as he got off the phone later in the day, Chris Greer was fired. That's a fact. Okay? That's been amended. That's been amended by the new CBA. Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark on the Cowboys defense. Whoever saw that coming. Listen, I'll take those two players, and I'll be very happy with that. But to lose Micah Parsons and what Parsons has done for the Green Bay Packers is incredible. Let's see here. You crying about 10 seconds? So you think it's possible how we might still try to trade? No, I don't. No. Maybe in the offseason. Because if you're willing to do it now, when stakes are higher, I'd be willing to do that in the draft. 2-1s. Big time price. You talk about all in with Chris Ballard. That GM has done some nice things in Indianapolis with a very unstable owner when Jim Irsay was alive. You know, the daughter might be better. They are 7-2 now. Hey, hold on here. You should go vote in New York, guy. It'd be perfect for them. Colts are definitely going all in. Texas boy. You are a Mike. You are a Mitch, bro. You want to show up? Hey, bro. I'm going to say this to you. You're 3-5-1. You're not out of a potential playoff. You're not winning the East. That fucker's over. Okay? That fucker's over. Yeah, I see her on the sidelines. No? Hey, show enough. I see her on the sidelines making notes and shit. They are 7-2. Dallas is upgrading from last. Yes. Still no pass rush and still their secondary. You guys stink in the secondary. Still, one player won't save that defense. No, but it will help. Massively, especially a guy like that. If you all think Sills hates black people so much, why the fuck you all come here? I hate black people. That's a new one. I hadn't heard that one. I hate black. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh. I mean, even my aunt who's watching is probably here. Now he hates black people. That's a fucking new one. I'm a Washington fan. Bro, I grew up to greatness. Too bad you don't see it right now. Yeah. Oh, my God. December football will separate out all the pretenders, including the current dome teams. I do like that, James. I hate dome teams. Okay? Sills, what is the film room like after a guy's ankles get broken like that? Okay. It's like when a guy gets pancaked and he gets knocked on his back, the room goes like this. Got to be better there. That's the coach talking. You're going. Because every guy in that room knows your day's coming too when you're going to be looked like that. So you can't say too much about it because you know your day's coming to get put on your back. Okay? So when you see a guy get his ankles broken, this is the NFL. That day's coming for you too. So if you want to start laughing, you remember, they're going to laugh at you too. One day, these guys are good too. They're paid also. Okay? When you see a guy get his ankles broke like that, the room goes like this. And you don't want to say a word. Because either you've been there or it's going to happen to you. This is my comment on the Oklahoma-only steers and there you go. I'm an equal opportunity offender. Absolutely true. Okay? Man, he did get his... Hey, did you even see CD go like this? Believe me, that'll be played back to him. Somebody will send that clip to him on his cell phone, and he'll remind CD when CD gets handled by a DB one time, and he'll send that to him going, damn, what happened here? I don't have one problem with Dak. Dak's on a shitty team. No problem with Prescott. He's just on a shitty team. Sills does not hate Hurts. Absolutely not. Just talked about limitations. Absolutely. He's a limited passer. Ask AJ. Sills, I rehab injuries all day. Nothing worse than knowing a kid's career and dream came to an end. Yeah. And terrible. Especially when it has to happen with injuries. Is Burrow a system quarterback? That is without a doubt a fan-made up thing. Every single system that there's 32 systems in the NFL for 32 different quarterbacks. System quarterback. Now, there's people that have characteristics of what that coach likes to call that fits a particular system. But let me ask you guys something here, because this guy believes that he knows what he's talking about. Did Nick Foles run the same offense that Carson Wentz ran when Nick Foles had to go in for Carson Wentz? Did he run the same offense? Did he? Okay. No. Well, wait a minute. I thought he's a system quarterback. They ran it completely different with more RPOs for Foles, right? They created an offense for him. Added on to what Carson Wentz did. Okay, well, I mean, how you doing, Twiz? All right, let me get to the topics. I haven't even got there yet. By the way, one more time. I think what the Cowboys did made their football team better. Their draft picks have been horseshit over the last couple of years, especially interior-wise. I think with Clark and with Williams, Quinnen Williams, I think they completely got better to a point where they could be a playoff contending team now. Now, will they be a team that's going to go far? No. They still have too many holes. Linebacker, secondary is overrated. I think there's some dudes in their offensive line. I think the running game is okay. I like the kid they got in the backfield. He's having a breakout year. I mean, Cowboys are okay. They're an okay team. They're a 500 football team. I mean, they're a 500 team. And with some breaks, they can end up having an above 500 record this year. Other than that, To sit there and say that they're in the conversation with the elite teams, that I won't go. But you signed and you traded for a proven player. Okay? You have. Sills, you know what would have made the Cowboys unstoppable? Micah Parsons with Williams. Yeah, but I don't think you have the equity to go get him. Well, you're right. You're right. An edge rusher in him, and that would have helped that secondary out massively. But their prints right there. There goes Jerry Jones not making the right moves at the right strategic times. This is what I'm talking about with Howie, that you guys are not listening and hearing me. Howie Roseman took a blowtorch to his defense. You're still 6-2. Those guys were far below the talent level of the 2014, which was unrealistic to think you could do it anyway. So what did you do? Okay. You did this. You pivoted. You corrected some of the wrongs you made in the offseason. And what you did was you hoped that this addressed some of those issues. Jerry, on the other hand, because he got into a pissing match with Micah Parsons, he deals him because it was a pissing match. That's not strategic. That's getting emotional. You don't get emotional on trades. You don't get emotional in negotiations of contracts. And both parties shit the bed. Okay? Now he goes back and he knows full well that Parsons on that current defense that they had was not going to make any impact whatsoever. You add Williams to the mix, it is going to make a difference. He is a really good football player. Carter's not better. He's not better than Carter. They're the same guy right now in this day. Carter, does he have more upside? Potentially. There's that word again with Carter. When you know Jalen Carter is where he needs to be, there's no words being talked about potential with Chris Jones. Nobody talks the word potential around him. He's it. Okay? Hayward in Pittsburgh. Nobody talked about potential. Anytime you hear anybody use the word potential, that means the guy hasn't lived up to it yet. So every time you guys put Carter in potential, he's not there. And for the Glazers, he has the ability to get there. Okay? Jalen Phillips has never played with another D lineman as good as Jalen Carter. How do you think their presence will help each other's game? I think it's going to benefit both guys. Insane. And with Vic, absolutely. I think both players benefit. I think Jalen Carter would benefit having Nakobe Dean play behind him instead of Jahad Campbell. Campbell's still learning how to play in the NFL. Dean knows how to play in the NFL. And Dean's a better player. It's not any negative towards Campbell. I don't have one problem. He's not a liability. He's just not better. You know, one guy's an experienced veteran.